like if you think about the power of this V point at the top here, like the power of it and its potential, like being on top of that level, that's the 188,200, which is my red zone. And I mean, that means that we come all the way back from there to the green zone, basically. And it might do one of those things where it dances on top of the 127. It would be appropriate. And the range above mustn't be forgotten. Like, don't you find it interesting that if we take this and put it in here, it's appropriate. It is the distance of the range. So it's like if we take that range and double it, like to a 188,200, we'll be at the other side of the range. Because that's what those fibs say. That's like a really, simple way of getting this indication. Because it's like that's the 188,200 up there. That is the red zone. So it's like whether people know it or not, like they're putting fibs on top of a range that's already been used. And the 188,200, it could have a negative response all the way and get blocked by the green zone and the VWAP. Like there's a chance that the green zone and VWAP work as a support that prevents it from getting back to this high. And one thing that we could see first is instead of just shooting all the way up there, if we come back from the green zone to test this high first, and then go, whether or not they want to end the chop with, even doing 2 retests there, I could care less. But just the need to retest that high is really something that we could see off of the green zone, something that we could see off of the VWAP. These are all things that allow us to chop. And chopping there would build a node here so that when we come back from the red zone, we have something to fall on with the VWAP, with the green zone. So I'm like, if they wanted to do it properly, well, that's the way to do it. And if they go ahead and do that, I would not be surprised. The first thing I mentioned today was 60 points to the upside. And the first thing that I put into the chat, even before I put it into the chat very, very, very clearly at this point. All of this was drawn yesterday before the close. Easy 60 points on the table at the open, sideways, up then down, returning back to the green is the agenda. But I put this in before, when we were calculating where it's going to go and the drastic, power and capacity of that move. It was to go up to that point and come down from that point. It grazed the underside of what is my red zone and came down first. And you want to know where it returned to? To the most punished spot yesterday. It's not even from yesterday that it was punished. It was punished here, and I explained how, just to go over it really quickly, this area was a 61 that was supposed to work like this and go up, right? And look at what it did. First, immediate failure, boom, and then it came through and absolutely chopped from the wrong side. It painfully hit them from the wrong side like that. So I remember we left it for so long, right? And then just came back and made it into what was the worst price of yesterday to be in for. So those people from that level have been treated really bad, not only yesterday, but the session before. And then we just came back to literally hit them on the head over here. Which this level right here, not only is it 2 61s that used to be conjoined together, but we're also looking at the high of a range. So, in the past, this used to work like a range, and, we're kind of stuck to it right now. But I do see a lot of value in getting back to the green bar ultimately. Another thing that I want to go over really quickly as well is the overnight session. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, I posted this movement right here, and I just want to look out for it throughout the night because it was very strange that the head and shoulders pattern would come back with this giant swoop over top of anyone that was part of the head and shoulders pattern. And we could see that that was in the overnight session over here, where basically we can see that it started out and it had the first head and shoulders here, where basically there was a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, and it played out just to wipe them out. That's funny to me because it turned around and made the same pattern, a little bit clearer too, inverse head and shoulders, and then knocked them out and then went up. It's really funny that on the other side of the spectrum too, I can see the same thing, the head and shoulders, and then it knocked them out. And you can see, like, that's where I posted the picture yesterday. So I'm like, I'm trying to get everyone to see what the pattern is so that you can see that, you know, the market hadn't moved anywhere from that time. And that was a reversal. I had to go to sleep. Unfortunately, I couldn't take it. I was too tired. But, you know, at the end of the day, it came back down to where the other one played out from. Like, if you notice, this one plays out all the way down to this one. That one ends. This one plays all the way up to this one. That one ends. And notice that when this one played out, it played out all the way back to the beginning of where that one started. So they're all connected. This one was related to that one because it caused the reversal, and they all took generally around the same amount of time. Like this one here wasn't too much longer to cause its reversal. And it caused a precision immediate reversal as well, where the people from the pattern, like the pattern that everyone knows is the head and shoulders, but the people that took it were put in danger before there was any kind of value shown. That's the one thing that I can see there for sure. So. And right now, we know that we have a trend until it's broken. Let's go ahead and put it in there. So this is the trend until it breaks. There's actually two. This one is one that I think a lot of people will have, but you know, we do have that one up top too as well, right? So there is two trends. That one will take significantly more time to get to than this one in theory, but we know that this one has to break. It's physically impossible for us to get to the second one without breaking the first one. And if we know that, then that means that a lot of the things that are happening on the other side of that line are not immediately relevant to us, but they are something that can be. Now, of course, we have to break these lines in order to get to that green zone. And typically, you know, it's not a Google pattern, but usually what we will see is a this sideways turn into the... Now, it's not a pattern people are going to be familiar with because they didn't read it in textbooks, but at the end of the day, if you watch the market every single day, I'm like, how do you not see that? So it's a matter of understanding the thing the market wants us to see, not what everyone else is doing, because they were part of a move like this, where we could see that there was an effort at making parallel movements. And that was one of the worst prices that they could have given anyone. Doesn't matter if you're trying to go long or short. They overlap you so many times from the middle area there that it's just not an extreme price, not an extreme price, not an extreme price. Like when everyone is trading here, like these moves are the best ones, you know? And if you're trading from the middle, you're only ever going to get half of what that could ever be. You know, so that's just crap at the end of the day. And you can see the market just treats them very rough by overlapping all their positions multiple times. And even coming down for that like little steal there, you can see the head and shoulders that was in there dumped down just to be reverted back to the top. Let's go back over to today's movement. After all the open just started, it's good to have an understanding of what happened. You know, it still has some of the open volatility, but it is dying down. After all, once we've dealt with all the hotheads in the morning, essentially, we'll be able to get on track fairly quickly.